Welcome back to Remove Before Race and to the first video that we ever actually filmed for the channel, before all the relative experience and the equipment that we now have. But this is a video that's personal to me, as with the imminent arrival of my AMG GT R, I have to say farewell to the car that it replaces. In June 2015 I picked up my AMG GT S, a car that has since become my favourite car ever, and one that I quickly named the Hammer. With this video, I will immortalise the car as you join me on its final drive and listen to the epic engine note for one final time. It's good timing too, as this month I'll also bring you a walk around of the facelift AMG GT, along with loads of AMG GT R content, and our episode 2 which will feature the GTC Roadster. But before we get to all that, let's look back at what we may have forgotten about the lead up to the GT series' launch. When the GT was originally announced, it was pegged as the baby SLS, a Porsche 911 fighter in the sports car segment. Some of you will even recall that early spy shots of the car were ridiculed by the auto press for copying the look of the 911, which as time would prove was utter nonsense. But that wasn't the key area where we stood corrected. After people got their hands on the car, they soon realised that AMG had just dropped an SLS level supercar into the sports car segment. This was no 911, or a lesser SLS. It had all the sense of occasion that comes with supercar ownership, thanks to the wide stance, interior styling, and incredibly characterful new engine. Speaking of the engine, this was a big area of uncertainty for the AMG fan back in 2015, fear of losing the signature AMG sound that our beloved 6.3 litre natural engines produced. No manufacturer at this point had made a turbo engine sound good, let alone the same or better, and that included AMG's own timid 5.5 litre biturbo. We were sure it was the last of a generation, or so we thought. My own fears were put to rest on my first viewing of the car. The new 4 litre biturbo V8 is the best sounding turbo V8 engine in the world. Sure, you can rev louder at a standstill with a natural engine, but on the go, the AMG engineers have created a sound that topples its predecessors in ways that we could never have realistically predicted. The future all of a sudden didn't seem all that scary. In terms of performance, it took everything from the SLS it was based on and built upon it, allowing it to achieve better track times than its supercar predecessor. The interior is class leading and in my opinion makes my 488 and Hurricane feel underdesigned and driver obsessed inside. The cool aeronautical influences such as the vents, dash shape and the buttons above the driver's head, paired with the showpiece V8 center console design, give the GT a sense of occasion not seen in other AMGs. And the elongated bonnet view anchors you to the legendary SLs of old and to the SLS. It would however have been nice to have seen a unique key or steering wheel to separate the car from the rest of the range. I decided to spec my car as a classic Mercedes-Benz coupe, so I went with Magno Iridium Silver on the outside and the exclusive saddle brown interior inside, along with touches of red, invoking its sporty nature. Having driven and owned a lot of other supercars, sports cars and competitors of the GTS, I still prefer this car, and there's a lot of reasons for that, and I could probably wax lyrical for hours as to why that is, but I'm going to use this farewell video instead to highlight the top reason that I choose this car over all the others. And of course, as with any AMG, that top reason is the sound. Exhaust button on. Always keep the exhaust button on. If you don't, I will find you. I'm going to start off with comfort mode. This is the only correct way to say bye to an AMG, so I'm going to shut up now. We're going to go through all the different modes, and obviously I'll highlight when I change them, and just enjoy the Soundgasm with me. Farewell, my friend. Next time on Remove Before Race, I finally pick up my new E63S Edition 1 and bring you some behind the scenes, the collection video, and we compare the sound to the C63S. And soon after, a walk around of the new AMG GT facelift.